opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and General Reed, it's good to see you. Thank you very much for your service. Senator Sullivan, it's good to continue our work on this subcommittee, this time you as chair and me as ranking, so we will continue our efforts together. General Reed, thank you for your service to our nation, and I thank the service members under your command around the globe conducting missions even as we speak. Transcom plays a critical role in the movement of people, supplies, and equipment anywhere in the world. Your command remains the backbone of our military to ensure the joint force remains agile and responsive. However, as the landscape for logistics continues to evolve, we must adapt to the new reality and full spectrum of emerging threats, ranging from cyber attacks to kinetic strikes on ports and airfields. And we need to recognize that contested logistics will be a battlefield in itself. Fortunately, the Air Force is currently taking steps to modernize its aerial refueling fleet, shifting toward a new tanker design that can operate in contested environments. The blended wing body, BWB aircraft, is a promising solution offering 90% more range, upwards of 50% more fuel efficiency, 80% more fuel offboard capability for sortie generations, takes up to 40% less space on airfields, flies 2,000 feet higher, and requires less landing and a takeoff distance. All I can say is wow and very impressive. We have to make it happen. Beyond these critical benefits, the blended wing body design would save at least $900 million per year on fuel. $900 million. In the short term, 3D printed micro vanes on transport aircraft reduce drag, pay for itself in just 7 months, and yield a few percentages on fuel as well. While that may not sound like much at first glance, the DoD spends over $10 billion each year on operational energy costs. To be clear, investing in operational energy programs is not just about cost savings. It directly enhances our lethality, readiness, and ability to sustain operations in the Indo-Pacific and beyond. Unfortunately, the Transcom assets have been recently used in a very inefficient manner and at great cost to the Department of Defense, all for, in my view, political show. The use of C-17s and C-130s to transport some 5,000 migrants at 3 times the cost of DHS chartered flights, and the DoD electing to do so on a non-reimbursable basis is not only inefficient, but also detracts from our core military mission. Just last year, the Department of Homeland Security removed over 685,000 individuals without DoD assistance, the largest amount of people since 2011. Obviously, during the Biden years that DHS managed to do this. Yet the DoD has opted to fly at least 3 times to India, each trip costing taxpayers over $2.5 million, and at least one of which tasked a refueling tanker to fly from New Jersey to Honolulu, only to return the next day. Beyond the questionable legal basis under which this is occurring, I want to know who is making the decision to fly in such an inefficient and costly manner. There was a time when my Republican counterparts would object to DoD writing a blank check to do the job of another government agency. Transcom must remain focused on strategic mobility and not burdened with missions that are outside its intended purpose. Transcom would be far better off returning to its rightful focus on contested logistics. Because energy security remains a critical challenge, our forces in the Indo-Pacific, for example, at Kwajalein Atoll, rely on vulnerable fuel shipments. In the event of conflict, these fuel supply lines would be prime targets for our adversaries. A more resilient energy strategy incorporating distributed energy assets and more efficient technologies is essential for maintaining operational effectiveness. Transcom is a key pillar of our national security, but we must ensure that it remains focused on its core mission. Whether by modernizing our tanker fleet or strengthening contested logistic capabilities, we must make the right investments and policy decisions. So, General Reed, again, I thank you for your leadership. Look forward to